Jai Sri Ram friends, welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome Vinay Ji. Thank you for joining Bharat Marg today for discussion. It's a very important बहुत बहुत गहरी बात है. हमारा बातचीत आज होने वाला है. ये है Canadian plot to kill PM Modi and external affairs minister मिस्टर जयशंकर. इनके लिए बहुत खतरा जान की खतरा आ चुका है. इसके बारे में बात करेंगे हम. और इनका सिक्योरिटी अपग्रेड हो चुका है. और विनय जी से हम बात करेंगे ये क्या है, ये प्लाट कैसा हो रहा है. ये पूरा हो रहा है गुरुद्वारा से कैनेडियन पीएम. मेरा सवाल विनय जी से ये होगा, क्या कैनेडियन पीएम जस्टिन ट्रूडो क्या इसके ऊपर कोई एक्ट लेंगे, कोई काम करेंगे, या ये गुरुद्वारों का ऐसा ही खुला छोड़ देंगे ताकि वो जाके ऐसा जान की खतरा का पीएम मोदी और जयशंकर जी का जान की खतरा का काम भी कर सकते हैं क्या? ये मेरा सवाल होगा. बट बिफोर गोइंग फर्दर फ्रेंड्स, प्लीज मेक श्योर टू लाइक द वीडियो, कमेंट ऑन द वीडियो फ्रेंड्स, एंड शेयर द वीडियो. हमारे लिए आपका मदद का बहुत जरूरी है फ्रेंड्स. प्लीज मेक श्योर टू शेयर द वीडियो. जितना भी हो सकता है कमेंट कीजिएगा और हमें समर्थन दीजिएगा. ओके, बहुत बड़ी बात है. And we cover many things that the mainstream media doesn't cover. Okay, और आपको जानना चाहिए. और इसके अलावा अगर अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो प्लीज सब्सक्राइब भारत मार्ग चैनल एंड प्रेस द नोटिफिकेशन बेल to stay connected so that anytime we go live you can get notified with the title so that आप सवाल भी पूछ सकेंगे, कॉन्वर्सेशन में भी भाग ले सकेंगे. इसके अलावा हमारा हर दिन का एक धार्मिक मैसेज भी आती है. आप पाने के लिए सिर्फ हमें +16479644790 में मैसेज दीजिएगा. एंड ऑल्सो टू गेट अवर वन this thing, what you call the real Sikh history, the untold, the documentary published by Bharat Marg. To get that also, send us a WhatsApp in this given WhatsApp number. Okay, Vinay ji, thank you for joining. बहुत बहुत बड़ी खबर है कि ये जो कैनेडियन प्लॉट हो चुका है पीएम मोदी और जयशंकर जी को मरवाने के लिए. प्लीज, फ्लोर इज योर्स. जय श्री राम. वेलकम.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very sad news actually when it comes down to that people are allowed in the name of freedom of speech in Canada to openly threaten heads of states, people who are part of the government, people who are diplomats in a certain country, because the according to the Geneva Convention, the diplomats in any country, from one country to the other, they enjoy diplomatic immunity. They have diplomatic security, and the country that is the hosting country has to provide all kinds of security to the diplomats who are staying in that particular country. Okay, but unfortunately in Canada, people are allowed in the name of freedom of speech to threaten openly with posters as big as like about 20 feet posters, right? These posters I've personally seen them around in Ontario, in Guelph area.
Yeah, see, this is the poster, Vinay ji, where you can see clearly enemies of Canada wanted बोल के लगाया हुआ है. ये जो आतंकी निज्जर का चलाया हुआ गुरुद्वारा जहां है उधर लगाया हुआ है. ये इसको जिसको प्लम्बर बुलाया जाता है. यू कैन सी द पिक्चर ऑफ पीएम मोदी, जयशंकर जी एंड द काउंसलेट जनरल ऑफ इंडिया.
Sanjay Kumar Verma, Jaishankar, who is the Sanjay Kumar is the High Commissioner. S. Jaishankar is he's the Consul General in the High Commission of India in Surrey, BC. And then the next person is Jaishankar, who is the External Affairs, the Foreign Minister of India. And to top it all, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi himself, is on the poster. And these guys have openly threatened them. Previously, the poster that was pulled down had the Consular General, Manish and Apurva Srivastava, and the High Commissioner to Canada, the Sanjay Kumar Verma. Their posters were there. Now they pulled down that poster and then replaced it with this new poster that you just put up, where they have the High Commissioner of India, Sanjay Kumar Verma, High Commissioner of India to Canada, Sanjay Kumar Verma, EAM Jaishankar, who is the Foreign Minister of India, and Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi.
So, Vinay ji, 1 second, okay? Just to inform you, this is on the main road. You can see it's on the compound of the Gurdwara where it is kept, and it is happily the banner is there, and the like you said, huge one on the road.
No, it's a big poster, and this is not just in Surrey, BC, and this is now coming up in areas like Brampton, Guelph, Kitchener. They're putting it up everywhere, and the people who are seeing it are kind of wondering what's going on here. So, and nobody has objected to it. Nobody has pulled it down. Nobody has, made a big statement about it. And the worst thing is the Canadian government allows it because they say in the name of freedom of speech, you can do whatever you want. Okay. You can even walk around with an AK-47 and fire it in the air or whatever, right? Which Niger was caught doing, but nobody made a big deal about it. Now, how the heck did he get the AK-47 and all that? That's a question, and that's for a different show. But I'm just coming back to this, this poster, and India has now kind of understood the severity of this particular action by the terrorists and secessionists that live in Canada, that have been given the, immunity, I should say. Like the diplomats enjoy the immunity, the terrorists and the secessionists enjoy that same kind of immunity here in Canada, all in the name of freedom of speech. So the worst thing that is, that's happened is putting up these posters. So as a result of this, India has, read the Riot Act to Canada, and basically they brought in the High Commissioner of Canada to have a discussion, and Mr. Cameron McKay, he was summoned to South Block on Wednesday, and a protest was conveyed. The protest notes asked the Trudeau government to immediately pull down the posters at Surrey Gurdwara, investigate the threat to Prime Minister, the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, and India's top diplomat in Canada, and then take strong action against the guilty. Simultaneously, a protest was conveyed to Global Affairs Canada in Ottawa at the same time. So this has all happened. But simultaneously, you don't want to jeopardize any of these, or take these threats easily, right, or lightly. So as a result, India has actually upped the security protocol for Jaishankar, who's the foreign minister, from a Y category to a Z category. So which means now he will now be guarded by the VIP security wing of the Central Reserve Police Force, which is a paramilitary force in India.
Yeah, because he made sure these terrorists lose their properties back in Bharat. इनका बुलडोसर चला योगी स्टाइल में, ये सब हुआ. मगर मेरा पूछ ये है कि इधर कुछ नहीं होगा ऐसा माना जाता है, क्योंकि you see this one, this is a very very interesting piece of information I want to give you. मैं ये आपको बताना चाहता हूं. ये हैं कांग्रेस एमपी रवनीत सिंह बिट्टू, ओके, इनका जिसका नाना का हत्या हुआ, जो सीएम रहे पंजाब का, उसका हत्यारा में ये था निज्जर, ओके. वो बोल रहे हैं लोकसभा में, वो बोल रहे हैं इधर जो कनाडा में गुरुद्वारा हैं उसमें करीबन 100 गुरुद्वारा पन्नू के हैं, और उसने सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया है और कुछ आतंकवादियों को, और इधर से ड्रग सेल्स, प्रोस्टिट्यूशन और ये ऐसा आतंकवाद, ये सब किया जाता है, एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ मनी, एक्सट्राडिशन, ये सब किया जाता है, धमकियां देना, ये सब होता है. एंड ये फंड, पोर्शन ऑफ द फंड इसका होता जाता है कैनेडियन पॉलिटिशियंस को, इसलिए लिबरल पार्टी चुप है और चुप रहेगा। इसके बारे में आप क्या बोलेंगे?
No, the thing is with the Canadian government, my fear is, okay, the Canadian government is not going to act on this, and they're taking it extremely lightly, and they're saying all this is okay in the name of freedom of speech. But my worry is for the yes, the people in India, the I'm talking about Jaishankar and Prime Minister Modi. They are in pretty safe hands because their security is now, like I said, has been up from Jaishankar's security has been up from Y to Z category, which means that he gets a lot more security and all that. And now there are open threats, and even Delhi police has received apparently threats against Jaishankar. And Prime Minister Modi is guarded by SPG, which is the Special Protection Group, and that's dedicated to the Prime Minister of India. And they are an elite commando force, and they guard the Prime Minister of India. So I'm not too worried about those. I'm worried about the safety of the High Commissioner of India who lives in Ottawa, because he doesn't get the same kind of security that those people get in India.
और मिला तो भी ओनली 1 सेकंड, ओके, ये मैं बताना चाहता हूं दर्शकों के लिए। और अगर उनको सिक्योरिटी मिला तो भी ये देखिएगा कि जैसा कैनेडियन पुलिस इज होल्डिंग द खालिस्तानी फ्लैग ऑन, ये लेके ऐसा घूमते हैं, खालिस्तानी फ्लैग लेके, और उनका इवेंट्स में इनको बुलाया जाता है, मतलब इनका जुगलबंदी है। क्या ये उनको प्रोटेक्ट भी करेंगे?
See, that I don't want to comment on that, because the police are it's a pretty independent organization in Canada. And yes, sometimes people in the police department, they get carried away because they don't understand the background of Khalistan. They don't understand the background of this whole thing, right? Because for them, it's a minority community that is coming to us.
Okay. I take your argument. मैं आपका आर्ग्यूमेंट लेता हूं। अगर मैं बुलाता हूं उनको एक इवेंट के लिए, दीपावली के लिए, और मेरा भगवा फ्लैग देता हूं ओम के साथ, वो लेके घूमेंगे क्या ऐसा?
They will actually, because you know what? Because they are it's all about appeasing the minority community, and and kind of giving them the same kind of feeling that they're all involved in this community. It's all equitable and all that stuff, right? So as a result, the police will go to any community event. So they think that this Khalistani is some community event by Punjabis and stuff like that. They don't know the background. They don't know the history. They don't know that these are terrorists. Okay. And now coming back to the High Commissioner of India, the security of the High Commissioner of India, for that reason, any diplomat of any country, is in the hands of the Canadian government. Okay. They are supposed to give them either the local police protection or protection from the RCMP or whatever. But the problem is, have they up the security protocol for the High Commissioner of India and the Consulate Generals of India in Canada? I don't believe so. And that's the reason why I'm saying that we got to, we meaning the Indian government has to fundamentally basically say that we are pulling the diplomat out of this country, or basically, giving him our own protection or whatever it is. But India has not done that yet, and that may jeopardize the security of the High Commissioner of India. And if that happens, it's going to be a war. I'll tell you that.
मगर मैं ये पूछूंगा आपको, इनका डबल स्टैंडर्ड का एक्सपोज मैं अभी करूंगा, आप तैयार रखिए विनय जी। अगर ऐसा बात कोई पैलेस्टीन का जो उधर बैठा है प्राइम मिनिस्टर का नाम पे, उसके ऊपर, या नेतन्याहू के ऊपर जो इसराइल का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है, या यूक्रेन का प्राइम मिनिस्टर के ऊपर ऐसा कोई बात करते हैं, तो ये लोग कैसा रिएक्ट करेंगे, हम गोरे नहीं हैं, हमारे ऊपर कैसा करेंगे?
No, you're 100% right, because you know what? Let's for example say,
या बाइडेन के ऊपर है, ऐसा कोई बताते हैं, करते
there's
हैं?
a threat to either Biden, there's a threat to the UK Prime Minister or French Prime Minister or any other Prime Minister. Mostly, let's focus on Europe. Okay, any European Prime Minister, right? Because they're all kind of brothers, I would say.
या
Right?
मगर या
So when it comes to that, then Canada will have a different stand. They will probably put the most elite forces out of the RCMP and give them protection, give the diplomats the protection and all that stuff. However, India, for example, has been taken lightly because you know what? It's all because of Jagmeet Singh, because Jagmeet Singh is the one who is controlling.
and I am saying जगमीत सिंह एक एंगल है, इनका रेसिस्ट भी दूसरा एंगल है, हम हो गोरे नहीं हैं, ये भी मेरा आर्गुमेंट है.
I may be true.
You don't want to go there, मगर फर्स्ट नेशन के साथ इन्होंने कैसा हत्या किया, कालों के साथ कैसा हत्या किया इन लोगों ने, और हमारा उधर हम तो गोरे नहीं है. Means, come on.
No, that could be true. I don't have evidence to say that, but all I'm saying is that when it comes to certain security, these guys will up the security protocol for those people. But when it comes to India, they're kind of they're showing double standards here. And I have a feeling that it's because of Jagmeet Singh, who has basically told the Prime Minister of this country, Trudeau, that you don't have to do any of that.
Who is the shadow prime minister, basically?
Shadow prime minister, exactly. I mean,
he's a puppet. Prime minister is a puppet.
Prime minister is the puppet, and Mr. Jagmeet Singh is the puppeteer.
Yeah. So, I have a couple of last questions for you. Okay. Number one, ये जो अपना viewers के पता होने के तरह बताइएगा कि simple language में ये riot act पढ़ने का मतलब क्या है और इसका फायदा क्या है? ऐसा कुछ है क्या फायदा?
Yeah, see, the thing about Riot Act is basically when in any country, right? For example, in Canada, for example, there is something called as a Riot Act. Okay, so as part of the Riot Act, the proclamation referred in say Section 67 of the Criminal Code may be read by a justice of peace whenever 12 or more persons are unlawfully and riotously assembled together. Okay, so the term riotously refers to the to disturbance of peace. Okay, and that is with intent of causing bodily harm or property harm or any of that. So in this instance, in the High Commissioner of Canada, when he was brought into South Block in India, and he was explained that this is, we are reading the Riot Act, was basically to tell and explain to the High Commissioner of Canada that, look, the lives of some of our diplomats in Canada has been openly threatened. Okay. And the lives of our foreign minister and our prime minister have also been openly threatened. Okay, so there is a threat to the lives of these people, the top diplomats who are living in Canada and in India. So, sorry, the part of the government, like the prime minister, foreign minister, who are in India. So, as a result, we are trying to basically reiterate that the Riot Act basically says it is, you got to take some action. Okay, the Canadian government has to take some action. Otherwise, it is a violation of the Riot Act. So that is basically what it is. Okay. So basically, when
इस पढ़ने का मतलब क्या है? मतलब इससे क्या होने वाला है? So is it a escalation? क्या है ये?
It is an escalation or something like when somebody reads a Riot Act to any country, right? Any country's High Commissioner or whatever, it means that it's basically India is warning the High Commissioner and reprimanding them. It's a vigorous reprimand.
मगर इधर तो कोई मीडिया तो कवर ही नहीं किया इसके बारे में
because
कनाडा में.
they don't really, they don't want to, because this is all media is, I told you, like, a big portion of the media is controlled by the government, and unfortunately they go by what the government tells them to publish and tells them to
all in the name of democracy. वो तो बिजी हैं, वो तो बिजी हैं मिडिल ईस्ट में डेमोक्रेसी का इंस्टॉल करने में.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the worst thing I want to add something for the benefit of the viewers, is that when Pannun, this is the what is this, the SFJ, so-called SFJ chief or whatever he is. So he basically said that the way things are going around in Palestine right now, right? With the Hamas attacking the Israeli people and Israeli property,
giving back to Hamas. Yeah,
exactly. So apparently, what he has openly threatened is that Hamas is going to openly wage war against the Indian government, like the way the Hamas terrorists are doing.
मतलब ये खालिस्तानी करेंगे.
Exactly. So they basically is saying that he equated the secessionist movement with the situation in Palestine. So where Palestine has become the kind of the victim, and that's basically how he is portraying Khalistani movement, that the Khalistanis are the victims, and he has openly threatened.
Yeah, victim तो है ही है, इनका घर सब अभी बुलडोज किया गया है.
Yeah, and SFJ apparently will carry out Hamas-like attacks. This is what he is openly threatening.
Well, and all happening from Canada, okay, and Gurdwara, Canada Gurdwara, okay. Let's put it, because ये लोग कंट्रोल करते हैं. हम लोग तो सोचते हैं कि इनका फोटो है, उनका फोटो गुरुद्वारा में कैसा है. कंट्रोल तो इनका पास ही है. मगर my last question to you, Vinay ji, my last question to you. India gave a big dhamki, they gave ultimatum. You better pull your diplomats. Now I was seeing in one of the Khalistani magazine, they were poking fun of India because Canada didn't pull anybody out, and India is quiet and they cannot do nothing. That's what they were poking fun at. What is your response on it?
Okay, so the way it works, okay, this is basically the it was released about a few days ago, just when this thing happened, right? When India gave them the ultimatum to to withdraw the 41
right? Diplomats, yeah,
41 diplomats from India, Canadian diplomats from India. So basically, they were given the warning that you have up until October, I think it was the 10th.
10th, yeah.
So the person, his name is Arindam Bagchi. Okay, so Arindam Bagchi basically he's the official spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs, and he said that October 10th, you guys have to pull out all the 41 diplomats. Failing which, okay, all 41 diplomats will lose their diplomatic immunity, which means that their diplomatic passport, diplomatic visa upon which they came is no longer valid. They now become ordinary citizens living in India, Canadian citizens living in India illegally. You got to catch that word. Illegally, they're living in India because they don't have a valid passport as a normal, ordinary citizen of Canada to be in India. Because every Canadian who goes to India has to have a visa unless he's a diplomat. Okay. Diplomats have a different stream through which they enter the country and live in that country because they have diplomatic immunity and they have diplomatic passports. But that diplomatic immunity has been withdrawn, and they become ordinary citizens, or they became ordinary citizens as of midnight of October 10th. Okay, so if these guys continue to live in India, which means that they're living there illegally. Okay, from what I understood, there have been a few of these diplomats have already left the country. They have been redeputed to Singapore, Malaysia, and whatever. Okay, but in case there are any more diplomats who are staying there, despite this ultimatum, then they are living there illegally, which means that Indian government is obviously going to take action. Probably not today, maybe tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. And this is a big thing, friends. मोदी जी का और जयशंकर जी के लिए बहुत बहुत धमकी आई हुई है, उनका जान लेने का खतरा है, और ये आ रहे हैं कनाडा का गुरुद्वारा के अंदर से। निजर जो जिसको प्लम्बर बोला गया था, उसका गुरुद्वारा से, गुरु नानक गुरुद्वारा है सरे बीसी में, उधर से पोस्टर लगाया हुआ है। इसके बारे में विरोध प्रदर्शन किया भारत ने। क्या होगा? आप विनय जी, थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग एंड पुटिंग एवरीथिंग टुगेदर. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you again. Looking forward to seeing you again. And Jai Shri Ram, Jai Bharat. What do you think? Please do comment and share, friends.